Okay, so good morning everyone. Today we're going to have a look around our Rauch 30.2 EMC Berry Spread Pro. It's on a Case MX135 here, and I'll give you a look at the control box in a minute. I've just washed it down there. I was spreading muriate of potash earlier, so just with the power washer to it. It's a damn sticky stuff, so it is. Anyway, so the hopper holds 7 big bags, like, which is around 3.5 ton. I wouldn't usually fill it to 3.5 ton. It's just that little bit much, and it's rated for 3.2 ton. We're on 24 meter bouts, and it is full section control. All in all, a good spreader. Unfortunately, some of the stickers are starting to peel a little bit here, but that's not the end of the world. It doesn't affect the workings of the machine. We traded in a Kuhn 2.5 ton spreader. It was just run with 3 spool valves, whereas this has just simply got the PTO, the spool valve for the boundary spreader, and then the power cable. We're running this machine on full Isobel into a Trimble, I think it's a GFX 750. It's something 750 anyway, which is a good system altogether. It'll also hook onto the green star that's on the combine. It's sugar. It's can't even think of the numbers on the combine, but it's a good spreader. We were looking at the Rauch, Amazon and Bogbell. At the end of the day, we came back to the Rauch because we got on so well with our old one. It's the only thing we had it. We had it about 10 years, and about 3 years before we sold it, the gearbox went, and we just changed the gearbox and it went on again. The main reason we changed was because we're modernizing here at home, so we wanted to have a more modern spreader capable of variable rate and section control. Probably changing the sprayer in the next year or two to get it up to the same level of spec. We'll just get into the tractor and have a look at the screen. Okay, so this is the screen. So when you click in, this tractor is this screen is plumbed directly into this tractor. So this is the only tractor actually able to run the spreader at the moment until we put the John Deere screen on another tractor or have the capability to. Luckily this is a reliable tractor. So we can see here the Kuhn fertiliser, look, it's hooked up now. It's ECU Rauch fertiliser spreader has been connected. So okay, and this little lad up here has gone green. Missing something. There we go, sorry. Okay, so this is what they call the work screen. So here's our GPS. Okay, you can see, obviously, last one driving it forgot to turn it off. Okay, and then here's the fertilizer screen. Okay, sorry, we'll try it again. So here's our GPS screen, and it's obvious somebody forgot to turn it off, the last person to drive it. Here is our fertilizer spreader, where kind of the back of the spread is. Here's our work screen for the fertilizer spreader. So that's just closing the doors from when I washed it out. So here, see, we now spreading muriate of potash at 125 kilos per hectare, and I spread 8.5 ton, 8.6 tons on 61.1 hectares, which is fairly good. Yeah, I have all my different fertilizers set up here. Sorry. Nope, sorry. You know what else I've actually used the thing. Cancel. How am I? I'm confusing the hell out of myself, so I am. Okay. So here we go. Here's all my fertilizers. So from 0730 to 12820, which is the main compound we use. Here's 12-8 plus sulfur, so there's Target, and then Yara, and then the Yara Sulcan. Yara Amethyst. That was a contract spreading. Grassland Sulcan. Sulfate of potash. So you see there's a good variety here, and I can put, is it 30 in it? Yeah, 30 different types of fertilizer before I have to start deleting them. Where am I? Okay, so we'll go back to work screen. So I have made a video of it working back during the summer, so I'll tag it in at the end. And if I press this little house here, I can change my fields, I task, the material, like, so I just have a general fertilizer in here. So when I'm bulk spreading for dairy farmers, they don't want a paddock by paddock, so we just put in general fertilizer, general spreading, and the GPS will do the rest, so I don't have to worry about it. You can see here we had the old Trimble 250. When we go to a working screen here, it's very difficult to watch the GPS and the fertilizer spreader. Now you can zoom in like this and go with it as you're driving, but my father doesn't like that idea, so he uses the 250, and when it's there I tend to use it as well, but I don't particularly mind using the 750. Yeah. Okay, so there's not much else to say really. Really good machine, well impressed. The only thing I'd probably change about it is that I probably would have went for the 5.2 instead of the 30.2. Sorry, the 50.2 instead of the 30.2. That machine is at the same spec as the 50.2, only the 50.2 is bigger. The MX probably would have been under pressure trying to carry the 50.2, which at its smallest size is 4.5 ton versus a 3.5 ton. But there's nothing that says it has to be filled, and then at least I have the opportunity to put a bogie under it or a bigger tractor. But for the moment, this will do fine. I probably will only keep it same as the Swarter 5-6 years and move it off again, but only time will tell. I don't know if you can see the little dome on top of and it's quite a large dome on top of the tractor for running the fertilizer or the GPS. One of the reasons we went for the 750 was that I wanted it to be compatible with auto steer, that if I ever or when I get a tractor with auto steer, it's just simply a matter of plugging that or taking the screen off this tractor and putting it into the other tractor, and then being able to use the GPS or use the auto steer on it. Now the combine is the exact same. I can just take the GPS off it and put it onto a tractor with auto steer. Just have to pay for the unlocks, but we'll wait and see. A 4MX could do with a bit of paint on the wheels, but mechanically you couldn't fault it. Yeah. That's probably about it. I can't really say anything more about the spreader. No major complaints really. It's a good machine. It sits tidy on the back of the tractor. It does stick out a little bit. I'll just so you see there like that, it sticks out a bit and you just have to keep an eye on it on the road. But other than that, it's grand. We buy all our fertilizer in bulk. That's just the dog. We buy all our fertilizer in bulk. Well, I don't know, say we buy 100 ton of Sulcan. That's not right, but anyway, Arctics come in 30 ton or 28 ton, so we're not going to go and get another 30 ton Arctic for the sake of another 10 ton. So either we'll go and get it ourselves with one of the Smith trailers, or we'll just get it in bags. But the percentage of bags we get versus bulk could be very small, sorry. So anyway, the reason I'm saying that is because using our grain bucket, which is in a different shed, we can just load straight in to it with it being as wide as it is, which is a great thing. Whereas if we had bought on Amazon, that wouldn't have been the case, and we probably would have had to buy a smaller bucket. A bucket holds about 1.5 tons of fertiliser, I think. Holds about 1.25 tons of barley. I never actually weighed it. It's fertiliser. We have a small weighing scales down beside the lane for weighing fertiliser in the spreader, just to make sure the calibration is right and so that we know exactly what fertiliser goes out in each field. Now obviously if we're half an hour away, we're not going to spread a field and come home and weigh it, so it'll go out as an average of, say, there's 40 acres in that outblock, or that rented ground, there's 4 fields. Yeah, there's a spot we have, it's 43 acres, 4 fields. So we'll just weigh the total going to them 4 fields, and at least we'll know fairly right. Look, good spreader all in all. I actually noticed coming home that this parking light is blown, so I'm going to have to try and fix that before we go to work now in less than a month's time. But look, good machine. Okay, I really am signing off this time. So that was the fertiliser spreader. We've done the sorter, probably do the wrapper next, and the 36 after that, and then we'll finish up with the combine. And I have some nice footage of the combine because a friend of mine was out with the drone, with his drone, so we've lots of footage of the combine, so stay tuned for that.